Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are here with the City of Little Rock. We're doing a virtual public information meeting tonight to discuss our solid waste services route adjustments that we are currently working to implement this month. My name is John Honeywell. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Little Rock. And next to me tonight,
I'm Warren Atkins. I'm the Solid Waste Services Manager for the City of Little Rock.
And tonight we're going to start out with a presentation that we've put together that describes what we're doing, sort of the reasons behind what we're doing, and then we'll be able to show you some of the ways that we're getting this information out, and then also ways that our customers in the city can find this information for themselves if they have questions or concerns about what's going on with their garbage collection. So I'm going to start the slideshow now. First off, the last time that we had any adjustments to our routes here in the city of Little Rock was in 2004. Obviously, the city has changed considerably during those past 16 years. There's been a large growth of residential customers in the western areas of our city, and that has pushed our solid waste routes, collection routes in those areas to a point where it's very difficult to complete those routes with the number of equipment and staff that we have working in those areas. Back in 2019, the city undertook a solid waste rate study that looked at the costs associated with operating our solid waste collection system. Part of that rate study identified this imbalance in our customers across the city on daily routes, and how that impacted not only us financially, but also our ability to provide the services that we do in a timely manner. So what we did over the last year or so is work to rearrange these routes in the days that we're collecting trash in certain areas of the city to reduce the number that are picked up each day, or to spread them out equally over each day. And what this does, it allows us to decrease wear on our equipment. It helps us decrease our costs due to overtime. And then it also decreases the impact and inconvenience to our customers when we aren't able to finish routes on a daily basis, which leads to their garbage carts being left out additional days. So once again, what was being impacted was not only our garbage, but it also impacts our yard waste collection, and it impacts recycling services because of the way these routes are currently set up. So what we're doing is working to make this a better system for everyone across the city.
For us, the biggest change in the western part of this town has been some annexation, but mostly developers coming in building new subdivisions. It's throwing that Monday route so out of balance that we're having troubles finishing on Mondays, backs us up into the Tuesday, which just compounds throughout the week. So every day gets pushed back. There's some of the areas of town, at times, we're not out there till Saturday. We're trying to correct that with this change.
So our next slide, this is currently a map that shows our days of collection. It's the colored areas. So Monday is the light green. Coming across the city over to Thursday is sort of the peach colored area, and you can see the different areas. So we're talking about shifting some of these boundaries to balance out those days. And I'll have another map that shows where we're going to at the end of this month. So our next slide shows you our current versus proposed collection routes. Currently, we have 5 days of routes. On Monday, you can see that we have 17 routes on that day, which is one more than any other day of the week. But we also have over 15,500 house counts or homes that we collect garbage at. That averages out to about 914 per route. And as you look across the rest of the week, we actually step down one route to 16. But then the rest of those are anywhere from 9,000, 9,200 to 13,000 on Friday for the number of homes. So you can see that Monday is by far the largest day for collection. It's also the first day of the week when we start. It's also the day of the week, or the area of the city that's the furthest away from our landfill. So when a truck that's collecting garbage gets full, it has to drive probably over an hour round trip to go back to the landfill, dump, and then get back to the west side of the city to be able to start collecting garbage again. So that impacts our ability to finish each day. So what we're proposing to do is shift days that houses are collected to even that out across the city. So you can see Monday goes from over 15,500 to a little over 10,600. What this allows for is the ability to finish those routes every day. It also gives some flexibility because of that distance traveled to impact getting completed each day. We're also adding for every day 2 to 3 additional routes. So we're going to have 19 routes a day across the city. What this does is it allows us to finish each day within that typical 8-hour workday, if everything goes correctly. It gives us some flexibility if we do have some breakdowns, weather issues, anything else. We have the ability to cover ourselves and get done each day. Right now, we're working at a level where if any one thing goes wrong, it makes it very, very difficult to complete on one day, and then that impacts the rest of the week. You have anything you want to add?
Yeah, with us working now, we get so much overtime in during the week. Most of these routes are not getting done at 3:30. We're out there till 5 to 6 o'clock trying to get done. It's just more time, wear and tear on the equipment, the manpower, plus it's an added expense and overtime onto our budget and back to the residents.
And I will say that by increasing the number of routes we have each day, we do have this equipment in place. We do have the crews hired and in the process of training or already trained to pick up these extra 3 routes. So at the end of this month, we will be ready to implement this and everything is in place to move forward. So our next slide, we'll talk a little bit about numbers. The total number of customers that are being shifted in their day of collection is over 12,000 customers. The city has a little over 60,000 customers currently, and so we're impacting probably about 15 or 20% of our customers. A very small number of that 12,000 customers. Most of those customers, their day is moving one day later in the week. So if you're Monday and you're having a route change, you'll go to Tuesday. So the impact there is not going to be as great. That's why we planned it that way. If you put it out on a Monday and you forget that you've been changed to Tuesday, we're still going to come. We do have about 348 to be exact, homes that we're moving their collection days earlier in the week. And we're going to pay special attention to them leading up to that changeover. We're going to have a lot of communication out to them to make sure that they're aware that their day is moving earlier in the week and not later in the week. And we'll also have, for the first few weeks, we'll have some special trucks set aside that if folks do forget, we'll have the ability to go out and pick their trash up, even though it's out on the wrong day. And we'll do that for a few weeks just until they get used to the correct day to put their garbage out.
One thing I'd say for those who are having day changes, and even those that aren't, your time that you have gotten used to the trucks coming by to be picked up, that could change. So if you're used to a 2 o'clock pickup and you don't put your garbage out until noon, we may be there at 8:30 that day. So get in the habit of putting your garbage carts out at 7 o'clock. That way we shouldn't miss you.
Thank you. So here is a map, and I've got another map that we're going to show you here towards the end. This is a map that shows you the areas that are actually being moved to a different day. So the blue area, those are Monday routes that are being moved to Tuesday. That's the biggest number. There's 5,103 houses that are being moved from Monday to Tuesday. Once again, remember, Monday is the day where we have that huge number of homes that we're collecting on one day that we need to spread out over a few other days. So when we add those numbers to Tuesday, obviously we're going to have to remove some from Tuesday to sort of keep it from snowballing across the city. So the light green or greenish colors are homes that are moving from Tuesdays to Wednesday, and so on around. For Wednesday is the orange area. Those are Wednesday routes that are moving to Thursday. Now you will notice that we have 2 small areas. They may be hard to see on there, but you have the red area out here in West Little Rock. Those are Wednesday routes that are going to Tuesday. And that's one of those areas that we're going to pay special attention to as far as notifying them, making sure they understand that they're moving a day earlier. And then we have this little purple area, which I don't think I have a cursor to show you, but it's just above Friday there. You can see a little purple dot. That is 4 homes that are moving from Fridays to Wednesdays. That's an isolated area that is close to those homes on a Wednesday route. So we're going to bundle them in with Wednesdays, just those 4 homes. And that way it's helping balance out our routes on that Friday where we're not going up that very northern edge of the zone to pick people up. So a majority, like I said before, homes are moving to a day later in the week. And this map will be put online where you'll be able to pull it up and look down to your house actually on the map at your address to see if your home's being affected by a date change. And I'll show you that at the end. So here's sort of the schedule and process that we're going through currently of how we're implementing these changes. A couple weeks ago, we made a presentation to the board to show them these route changes that we were going to do. And then from that point, we're doing this town hall discussion tonight. Next week, we plan on doing newspaper notices to make people aware that there are changes that are coming. The week following that, we plan to do mailers directly to the residents that are being affected. And that's any of them that are moving later in the week or earlier in the week. Those homes that are going to have their dates moved earlier into the week, we plan on going directly to their homes and putting door hangers, messages at their homes directly to make them aware of the day that they're moving to. We aren't doing that for all 12,000. That's logistically very difficult to go out and visit them every house. That's why we're doing the mailers directly to those homes. And I have an example of what you'll be getting in the mail. And then the week of July 27th is the week we plan to start implementing this program. So starting that Monday, there'll be over 5,000 of those homes that are Monday days that are going to be Tuesday days. And throughout the week, like I showed before, that's where everything's going to change throughout the week.
On your recycling pickup, it is also going to change to the new collection date if you're in one of those change areas. What won't change, though, will be your week. If you're currently a gold or green week, that's going to remain the same, so you won't have to worry about that. Your yard waste pickup will be the day after your garbage pickup. So if you're changing from a Monday to Tuesday, then your yard waste would be a Wednesday after that point. So, but that's what we're doing now.
So here is a example of the mailer that we're going to be sending out to residents. It will be specific to that home as to what day their garbage and recycling will be moving to. So you won't have to wonder what day am I going to. It will actually tell you what day your garbage and recycling are going to be collected on. So be looking for these in the mail that week of the 20th, I believe it was. The
13th. Aren't they going out the 13th?
Yes, the 13th, you're right. The week of the 13th is when we have those mailers going out to everyone. The door hangers for the week of the 20th.
Right.
So it'll be a postcard type material that gets sent to you, and you'll be able to see that day that's changing, and it'll give you the week that we're starting, so you'll know what day to do it. So like Warren said, we've worked with Waste Management and Recycling. They have these new routes and days incorporated into their system. They're ready to implement it the week of the 27th. We've also worked with our 311 system, and they will have the ability to, if you call 311 and want to know, hey, has my garbage day changed or is my garbage day changing, they will be able to pull that up and look at it and tell you. Also, if you call in and say, hey, my garbage was not picked up today, they'll be able to pull up and look on their system, excuse me, what is your actual garbage day. So if it is one of those situations where it's early in the program and you just didn't realize your day has changed, they'll be able to tell you at that time when you call in 311 to report a missed pickup that, hey, your garbage is actually collected tomorrow, not today. So it's not been missed, but they'll be there tomorrow to pick it up on their regular scheduled day. So with that, that's the end of the slideshow right now, but did you have anything to add to this before I go to the interactive map?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So now what I want to do is pull up the interactive map that we have and let you see what we plan to have this, excuse me, on our website by the end of this week. And what this does, it allows you to enter an address or just zoom in. If you know where your home is located on a city map, you'll be able to zoom into the image, and you can actually zoom into an actual address, street, and you can see an outline of your home. So I'm just randomly picking one that is part of the ones that are being changed. And so if we click, if we click on this house, it pulls up and says their collection week is gold for recycling. Their recycling day is Wednesday. Their yard waste is Thursday. Garbage is Wednesday. And if you click on the dot, it actually tells you this is one of the homes that's going from a Tuesday collection to a Wednesday collection. So with that, you'll be able to actually see what is my day changed to. We might be having some trouble getting this pulled up on the screen. I'm not sure. The other thing you can do is enter in an address, and I just earlier today picked an address that I was zoomed in on, and to show you how it will actually zoom directly to your house if you just type it into the top up here into the space where you can enter an address. So it pulled up this particular address I entered in. Then you can click on that, and it tells you all your information about what days your collection is. And you can also click on the dot, and it'll tell you they've changed from a Monday to a Tuesday. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
Again, John mentioned earlier, if you aren't comfortable doing this or don't have access to this, you can call 311 and they can pull that information for you.
Okay. So I just noticed it popped up on the screen. So I might need to go back over this again just real quick. This is what the map looks like. This will be on our website. We'll have it in several locations, and we'll have links to where you can go to this. We plan on having that on there by Friday. And before, like, I typed in an address, you put it in, you hit enter, and it zooms into that address and identifies it for you. So this particular address, you can zoom into it. You can click this area. It tells you what your garbage day, recycling day, if you're a green or gold week. If you click on the dot, it tells you this one is moving. You're moving from a Monday to a Tuesday for collection. And it gives you the information about all your other solid waste services that you get also for the days. Once this is implemented and up and running and everyone's used to their new days, this map will then be the one that we have on our website for whenever you have a question about, hey, what day is my garbage? If there's someone new in the city, someone has a question about, am I gold or green for recycling? I know that question gets asked a lot. You'll be able to go into this map and type in your address and be able to pull that information up directly. It'll just be a box like this one that'll say that particular address, an area is a green week, it's a Wednesday garbage and a Thursday yard waste. Recycling is also Wednesday. So this is where we're going. Currently we have 3 different maps that all of them are not interactive. So we think this is going to be a much better way for our folks to get information when it comes to their solid waste services. Have anything else you want to?
I don't.
So with that, that's sort of the end of our presentation when it comes to the rate adjustments. We did not get really any questions related to this as we were leading up to this, so I wanted to go over the presentation that we had before. I want to encourage folks, please go online, look for this map. You can call 311, ask questions if you're concerned about whether or not your day is moving. Please be looking for those mailers in the mail coming to you to let you know whether or not you're one of those folks the day is changing. We will have advertisements in the paper. We'll try to do another announcement through the press and that kind of stuff to make people aware of it that week leading up to July 27th. And then there was one other thing I was going to mention, and I completely went blank on it. But there's a website, or the email. Finally remembered. If you do have any questions about this and just want to email, we have set up an email that you can send us information on, and it's lrpublicworks@littlerock.gov. Once again, that's lrpublicworks@littlerock.gov. That goes to several people in our department, and we'll be able to see what your questions are and get you information back on those as quickly as possible.
I have just kind of a general announcement. Friday, city offices are closed for the 4th of July holiday, but the crews will be working, collecting garbage, yard waste, and recycling. So if you're a normal Friday pickup, leave your materials out, put them out for that day, and we'll be collecting them.
Another thing that I wanted to mention, and we've had some questions about that, or some requests to remind people. We talked about the rate study we did earlier in the year, where we changed rates for our solid waste services to keep us moving forward for the next 10 years as far as keeping our collections, landfill operations, everything else solvent. One of the things that got changed in that was on-call bulky item collections. You have one collection a year included in your fee that you pay for that year. Any additional on-call services, you put another piece of furniture, another item out, excuse me, another item out in front of your house to be collected, besides that one that's included in that annual allotment, there is a fee of $25 for the first
2
cubic yards of size, and then it's $10 a cubic yard on top of that. So if you put stuff out besides that one, you will get billed for that. That bill does get placed upon your water bill, which is what you pay your solid waste fee through that same billing system. So we wanted to remind people that if you're putting multiple things out throughout a year, there is an extra fee beyond that one time you put it out. So we want to encourage people to please put everything you can in your garbage can. We pick that up every week. If you do have, if you know you're going to have a lot of bulky items, you may want to try to combine as much as you can. So you use it all up in that one included trip to your house that we make. And is there anything you want to add to
No,
that?
we kind of expected there'd be a lot of call-ins for this, but really we haven't. There's not been that many people that have had second pickups. A few, but not nearly the numbers we thought. It's gone fairly smoothly so far.
We have seen a reduction. I looked at the numbers this afternoon for our on-call collections compared to this time last year. We've seen about a 30% reduction in the number of on-calls that we've had. Those numbers do include locations where people have just dumped things in other areas. We pick those up through our 3-on-1 system. We enter those locations in. So we definitely think that this is having a positive impact on the amount of stuff that's being put out. We think people are thinking about what they're putting out instead of just putting it out there constantly, where it's always something out in front of someone's home. So we think so far the change to this fee is helping us, but we're optimistic at this point. We know we're only 6 months in at this point, so we're going to be monitoring that throughout the rest of the year and see where we are at the end of the year and see what impacts it had. So at this time, I still don't see any questions that we've had online. We may give folks a few minutes. Is there anything else you have that you think we need to mention?
I think you've covered it.
Okay. Well, once again, I want to remind people that this map is going to be really important for getting information to people. It will be on the website this weekend. Want to encourage people to go use it. And we think it's going to be a great benefit in helping people figure out exactly what's going on, especially when you can zoom in directly to a particular address on the map. Literally, you can zoom right into a home outline and see, is my physical address one of the ones that's being changed? Click on it, and it'll give you the information. Once again, we want to thank you all for listening tonight. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact us through that email, lrpublicworks@littlerock.gov. or you can call the Public Works offices, or you can look up information on the website. We're going to have all of this posted up there this weekend, so you'll be able to review it. And with that, we want to say thank you for listening to us tonight. And if you do have any questions or have anybody else that you talk to that has questions, please direct them to these locations where they can get that information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate your time.